All right, it's now 5 p.m., so we'll get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 4 of Seed's AI Essentials for Small Business series, where we boost productivity, not fear. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by customer service tasks, you're not alone. I've been there too. But AI might be the game changer you've been needing this whole time. In today's hands-on workshop, you'll learn how to streamline your customer interactions using smart, cost-effective tools like chatbots, automated email responders, and AI-powered writing assistants. And overall, the goal is to help you serve your clients faster, better, and with less stress. We're thrilled to welcome back Jay McDougall, our featured speaker for today's session. Jay brings a strong background in digital solutions, automation, and customer experience strategy. Known for making tech tools approachable and practical, Jay will walk you through how AI can help you stay personal and productive in your customer service efforts. And now, without further ado, I'll pass it along to Jay.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Aiden, and welcome everybody. Thanks so much for being here, especially those who have joined, who have been here for the other elements of the series. You certainly don't have to have been here for the others to get some benefit out of tonight. What we're going to take a look at is AI for customer service, specifically looking at tools you can use that are going to help you respond faster, that's going to help you increase your customer service game by providing service better, and hopefully alleviate some of that stress you have, that feeling at the end of the day that there's still two more email I know I didn't get to, or there's a call I didn't return. That kind of stress that comes with just always trying to deliver on customer service. We're going to start, though, not really talking about AI at all. I want to talk about customers and how the role of the customer has shifted inside of businesses and how technology has driven that shift. We kind of have to understand that difference so we can figure out the leverageable points in the sales funnel, inside the sales flywheel. So that's where we're going to begin our time tonight. Forbes put out an article at the end of last year, and it was filled with a bunch of statistics that tell us that doing things the way we've always done them is not going to be good enough anymore. So 66% of business leaders believe that chatbots, so, interactive tools built into websites and social media that are customer facing, that chatbots are going to be able to help customers reach the proper channel. So customers, 66% of business leaders believe that chatbots are going to be able to help customers. We're seeing major companies make an investment in that space. 36% of all customers still prefer a way to interact with a real person. Now let's turn that number around. If only 36% of people asked say they still prefer to interact with a real person, then everybody else is completely okay dealing with somebody who's not a real person. That's huge. The vast majority of the market is comfortable dealing with someone who's not a person if it means they get the help they need. 79% of customers say they expect to have a self-service option available to them. In a world filled with social anxiety, right? The ability to get what you need without having to deal with anybody, that is a game changer for most businesses. I'm at the point now where I don't even want to talk to anybody to get groceries delivered to my house, right? If you give me the option to not engage with somebody and still get what I need, then I will save that social energy and spend it in the areas where I actually have to engage. But if I can just blink and get what I need, then I'm going to choose that. Not everyone is like that, but there's a chunk of the market that are like that today, and it's growing. 76% of customer service executives are planning to invest in AI technologies for automating customer service and wholly replacing contact centers. Remember when contact centers used to be called call centers, and then they started calling them contact because it became email and chat? Well, those centers are going to become a lot more central because it's not going to take the workforce that it used to take to accomplish this. And 95% of consumers say that customer service impacts their brand loyalty, naming easy access, self-service options, and professional communications as important factors, things that drive their loyalty to your brand directly connected to customer service and how you make them feel and how easily accessible your answers and solutions are made available to them. So anybody reviewing this, looking forward and planning a business, needs to understand that customer service, the power behind that, has now been completely taken from the business. And customer service, a high level, high expectation, that is just the given now. The given is that you will meet customer expectations when it comes to good customer service. The cost of failure in the customer service department has never been higher. because somebody out there, maybe even with a lesser product or with a higher price tag, they're doing a better job of providing service, and therefore they're going to win market share that maybe you won't. Existing isn't enough. You have to back it up with that experience. So we're going to look at what AI can and can't do. And I want to be really clear about these kind of broad areas tonight. So AI can today, real technology today, it can easily answer frequently asked questions. It can easily automate the flow of customer requests, making sure that the customers and their problems land in front of the people on your staff who are best positioned to provide a solution. We can automate that. It does not have to go through reception or admin. Not every email has to go to the company president and then get delegated down. There are ways we can make sure easily solvable problems are easily solved. We can also automate access to customers, giving access to customer data for better responses and suggestions. How do we use AI to make it know everything that we know as business owners about our customers so that they're getting tailored responses, that they're not getting canned responses, but rather, information that's presented back to them about the thing that they care about the problem that they're having. Now, things that AI cannot do really well today, it can't replace your empathy. It can pretend, it can act empathetic, it can say the right words, it can say your words, but it really cannot replace what you do. Our goal in using AI to fuel customer service should be to have it handle all of the things that don't have to reach your desk to be solved, so that you have the time and the energy to focus on the areas, the problems that are big enough, that are complex enough, the solution which is high value enough to your business that you can personally engage. And that's where your empathy is going to really shine and sell. So it can do all the things that good empathetic words do, but at the end of the day, that feeling of person to person, someone's invested in me and cares, AI is not going to replace that. So this isn't going to be for the big client that likes to be handled personally and who likes to feel special. AI isn't going to do a great job today of that, but it is going to do a really good job of getting someone a quick answer when that's all they need. And that's what we're going to focus on today. It also can't replace your high value judgment. It can replace lots of your low value judgment. A customer has this problem. Who on my team is best equipped to deal with that? AI can do that. If we train AI the things that you would consider when you make that decision, then AI can make that decision as well. What it can't do are the things that you uniquely bring value to inside of your business. You've been doing what you do for like 25 years. It's parts of it are just innate to you. There are things about what you do that you do better than literally anyone else who works in that field. AI is not going to be able to do that. Our goal is not to get you to stop doing that high value work. Our goal is to get you doing more of that high value work, well focused on that high value work and getting all the low value stuff off your plate. That's the sort of customer service work that AI can easily take on for you today. And a really important thing that you're going to hear me revisit over and over again in our time together today is AI and any of the tools I'm about to introduce to you. It cannot do anything that you don't program it to do. It can't have an idea or a thought or find the words that you don't encourage it and train it to use. It will try, it will reach, it will try to fill in the gaps, but your job as someone who wants to use AI not to replace you, but to do what you would do when you're not there, right? That's a very different thing. When we turn to a ChatGPT prompt, we're looking for it to give us something we don't have. But when we're trying to automate customer service tasks, we want it to literally take what's in our brain and the decision-making process that we would make and all the information that we have, and we want it to do that when we're not there, right? We're asking it to do a different thing. We're not asking it to think of things and do things that we do not know how to do. We're asking it to remove the repetition from our day by having it learn how to do the things that I have to do over and over and over again so that I no longer have to spend that time. So to identify the points within your business where this automation can really make a difference, I want to show you a sales funnel. Now, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you why we don't use sales funnels anymore. But I want to start by showing you a simple understanding of how customers right now go from not a customer at all to encountering your brand, developing a little bit of awareness. They see an ad, they see a social media post, somebody mentions your business to them. Awareness exists, right? And then they start asking mental questions. They develop an interest in learning more about what it is that you do. Now, that is a customer moving from the awareness stage to the interest stage. And then generally a life event happens. And that life event forces consideration. You open up the fridge one day and the light doesn't come on. You get in the car and it's making a funny noise. You try to put your pants on and you rip the leg out of them, right? Something happens and suddenly you are being forced to consider a purchase that just yesterday wasn't even on your radar. So a mix of awareness and interest pre-existing, and now a life event has forced consideration. And now what are you going to do? Let's say it is a refrigerator and we have to investigate buying a new fridge. Well, because of awareness, I am aware of a few different places in town I might be able to get a fridge. I'm aware of a few different websites I want to check out so I can learn more about what's out there. My fridge is like 12 years old. A lot has changed in those 12 years. I have a lot of unanswered questions. Now, on the left-hand side, back in the day when I became a salesperson, the job of marketing, of radio, of print, of online, of anything that was outward facing marketing, it was simply to deliver on awareness and interest. And then the minute that a customer got to the consideration stage, the minute something happened and that customer could actually imagine themselves being put in a situation where they have to make a purchase, well, that's when they would have to walk in the showroom. They would have to go to the furniture store. They would have to go to the appliance store. You would have to walk into the clothing store. And a salesperson would speak with you. And that salesperson's job is to interrupt your natural inclination of the things you want to learn and the things you want to know and all the data points you want to collect so that you could make a decision and then eventually maybe or maybe not make a purchase. The salesperson's job was to interrupt that, get in front of you, provide some information, make a pitch, and try to close you. When that didn't work, give you some new information, try a different pitch, and try to close you. And do that on repeat until you were a complete confused mess and either left the showroom and you went somewhere else, or you just had enough of this guy and you pulled the trigger and you made a choice to buy what he was showing. But look at what's happened now. What we have on the right-hand side, the marketing stage, you're not even a part of. Your content is, but you as an individual are not. You are not at the table when they first learn about you. You are not at the table when they get interested. You are not at the table when they first mentally imagine making a purchase from you or somebody like you. You don't know it yet. They go to your website, they read some material, they go to the competitors, they read some material, they read Google reviews, they read information online, they check out a blog, they talk to their friends. We do all the things that we do. All of that, you're not a part of the conversation if you don't have digital assets out there telling your side of the story. If they go digging and they can't find you, there's nothing for them to say. So you have to have digital assets out there answering these questions that a sales guy used to answer for you. And now to get to the point I want to make for tonight, look at where sales kicks in now. You're halfway through evaluation. You're right before the point of purchase where the customer pulls the trigger, opens their wallet, and hands you their money. That's when the customer reaches out now. So when you get somebody reaching out to you through Facebook inbox, when somebody actually calls or sends an email, types out an email address and then types out an email, when they do that, that is not the same as walking into the appliance store 20 years ago. They are so much closer to the point of purchase. You have already made it through like 4 rounds of research and consideration before they have even sent you a message. So every message that you get that is a point of contact with a customer now has to be treated like a sale, because this is not a first point of contact. It's the first point of contact with you, but they've interacted with your business, with your customers, what they're saying about you in other online spots. They've interacted with your customers in real life when they've asked around to find out what people think about you. But they have not bought without going through awareness, interest, consideration, intent, evaluation, eventually purchase. They have moved from awareness all the way to evaluation before they've even made contact. So we now need tools that ensure that we are making the most out of every one of those customer contact points, whether it's a customer service opportunity for retention and conversion, or whether it is a first-time sale where we're taking a prospect and we're turning them into a customer. Now, we don't really talk about the funnel anymore because the inherent problem with this funnel is that it assumes people leaked out at every stage. Why are there more people at the top of the funnel at the awareness stage than the bottom? Well, because only a portion of the market is going to choose you to buy. But are we done at the point of purchase? We don't have to go find new people every time we sell our last customer. The whole point of being in business is to have a good story told about you, to create good customers who go into the market and tell good stories. And that's why we've moved to the flywheel. Now, same idea. The attract stage, right? What are we doing to generate awareness? We're attracting strangers, and then we're engaging with those strangers. That act of engagement is what turns them into prospects. A stranger who doesn't know anything about me becomes a prospect who knows one or two things about me the minute they go to my webpage or watch a video or watch a reel or talk to a friend or read a Google review, any level of engagement, and suddenly they become a prospect. Now, my digital materials, my AI assisted sales agents through my web tools, plus my real life ability to communicate well with customers and move them toward a close, that's going to be the thing that converts a certain percentage of my prospects into customers. So, what are those tools of engagement that are going to do that? We're going to spend a good chunk of tonight talking about what those tools are, but we're not going to stop there because customers, if we're doing it well, they become our promoters. They become evangelical. They go out there and they want to sing from your songbook. They want to find more customers just like them. They are so impressed by how you've been able to solve their problem for them that they want to share that with other people. We cannot shut up about good customer experiences when we have it because, truthfully, it's fairly rare today that you're blown off your feet. So when you are, you do send the email, you do post the Google review, you do reach out to the business, and you do tell your friends. But wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to rely on a great experience motivating someone to take time from their busy day to do that? Wouldn't it be great if we had some customer service tools that encouraged people through the engagement stage as they become customers, automating those follow-ups with existing customers, doing adding in points of delight post-sale, getting ahead of early problem points post sale. Most people buy this widget from me on Friday, they take it home, they play with it for 2 days, and then they have questions. So wouldn't it be great if 48 hours after purchase, the customer got an email that walked them through frequently asked questions, right? These are questions our customers normally have. Well, realistically, are you going to sit down and send an email and be like, okay, John bought on Tuesday, on Thursday morning, I'm sending it? You're not going to do that, right? We need to give you some tools that are going to help you automate that level of stuff. That content is going to go out into the world, promote for you, by the way, usually free compared to paid media. And then that content is what's going to attract strangers who will then engage and become prospects, who will fall into an AI assisted sales channel that you've created, showing the exact value you bring to people exactly like them. And then that's how you're going to turn those engaged prospects into customers. And then we're going to do the whole thing over again. That new customer is going to go out, find somebody else, and we're going to do it over and over and over again. So you get this flywheel momentum happening inside that we never had in the sales funnel. In the sales funnel, people leaked out at every stage. But that doesn't have to be the case here. At the case here, once you're in there, if we do a really good job of creating an atmosphere where people can stay engaged, people can stay in that engagement portion. They're aware of your business. They know what you offer. They know what you sell. They know they're even going to choose you. What are they waiting for? Well, they're waiting for the forced life event to bring consideration. I'm just not buying a new fridge today. Why? My fridge still works. I'm just not in the market for one. But man, the minute my fridge goes, I know who I'm calling, right? Now, there's a whole other sales side of this, which is how do you create urgency when life doesn't create consideration? So when with the absence of forced consideration, what can you do to force consideration or create urgency in a customer? We're not going to get into that tonight, but there's a whole strategy around that. We're going to look at these specific stages of attract, engage, and delight. And we're going to identify AI tools that you can start using tomorrow morning that are going to help you bring in customers, engage with customers, address the concerns of customers at each of these 3 stages. So at the attract stage, again, who are we talking to? We're talking to strangers. So the goal here is to capture attention and generate some interest. So what are some AI tools that we can use that are going to capture that attention and allow us to generate some interest? Well, ChatGPT and Jasper AI, two tools that are out there. These do a really good job of helping you generate SEO rich blog posts. They can help you with ad copy. They can help you with social media content that's designed to pull people in. Now, if you haven't been in the earlier sessions, you aren't aware yet about the importance of not just asking it cold to do that. You want to specifically ask these tools to use the content that exists on your website, use the content that exists that you're going to upload. You know, you have emails that you've been sending to customers for years about this. You're going to load all those in and create the knowledge that ChatGPT can now use to create that social media. And Jasper does the exact same thing. So knowing that at the attraction stage, the thing that's going to trigger interest and make people dig in is you have to get them asking a question. You have to spark curiosity. The thing that makes attraction become engagement is a functioning curiosity of one single curious thought. I wonder what that costs. I wonder what color it comes in. I wonder if that would fit on that wall in my house. You know, any of these questions are awesome because that question in the mind of the customer is the thing that moves them into engagement. So when they are seeking out the answers to that question, they're not calling you. They're nowhere near making a purchase, so they're not calling you. They're not messaging you. They have no interest in talking to you. The Forbes article up top told us that almost 80% of them would prefer to do this without ever talking to you. So what we need to ensure is that we've got content out there that gives them those answers, that they feel like they are engaging with your business, even if they're not engaging with you. So Surfer, SEO, and a bunch of AI writers that are out there, just like ChatGPT, these can help you craft content that is going to fill that universe of interest that our attracted strangers need to be able to move around inside, to pique their interest, to feed their curiosity, to get them asking more and more questions. Curiosity brings one question, which makes them look up one thing. And then if that sparks a second question and they follow through to a second thing, they're not a stranger anymore. They're not just at the attract level anymore. They have moved on to full engagement. They are two questions deep. And if you're two questions deep, congratulations, you are officially in my sales funnel. And I'm going to close a set percentage of you. And what I need at the attract stage is good content that is sparking that curiosity. It shouldn't be filled with pricing. It shouldn't be trying to close people. It should literally just be answering their questions. So how do you position yourself as a knowledge expert in your space? This is the sort of content that we should be engaging in at the attract space. This is what blogs are for. This is what content marketing is for. And then I would also say that the attract stage is where some of these more popular tools like Canva, and now Canva has Magic Write inside of it, and Adobe's version of that is Firefly. These are tools powered with AI. So again, you're not talking directly to a prompt, but you're using AI functionality inside of pre-existing tools where if you show up, if you go into Canva and you've already used, say, ChatGPT, or even yourself, you sat down and you wrote just a really strong blog article or a piece of content for your website, you now don't have to sit down and wrestle with what generic photo am I going to pull off Getty Images to put with this with a watermark on it, right? You don't have to do that. You can instead share the content with Magic Write and ask it to reverse engineer a design. You can do the same thing in Adobe Firefly. You can take the written material you've created and ask it to use that as inspiration for a visual. And now you're going to end up with a visual that's designed to attract people, that specifically is setting an expectation about what we're going to talk about. And what we're going to talk about is what the subject matter of the blog post was, which is now represented in the visual. There's also AI ad generators. AdCreative.ai is huge. This is tools you can use to build high converting Facebook, Google, LinkedIn ads. Again, you will have a different type of ad with a much more focused audience at the engage and delight stage. At engage, ads are only for prospects. At the delight stage, ads are only for pre-existing customers. So who are these ads for at the attract stage? Whoever it is that you believe statistically you are likely to convert better than the average bear, right? So if you have a business, you look at your sales books, you have a customer segment that skews female, that skews 35 to 54, that skews working as a teacher or in healthcare, then let's feed all that information into AdCreative.ai. Let's feed in all the information that you've already written, your website, your blog posts, all that material. And it's now going to rewrite it in a way that is explicitly going to tailor its edits to appeal to the target demo that you've programmed in. So you can create one blog post that contains all the information that you want to have. And then you can use AI tools to spit out 3 different versions of that same content, one written for each of your 3 target segments or your target audiences. And then you can pump that into adcreative.ai to create an ad campaign designed to attract in strangers who now are going to read content that you've tailored specifically for people like them. So it allows us to get really smart, really quick in a way that we otherwise really have to spend a lot of time and a lot of money doing at the attract stage. Now, at the engagement piece, life gets a little exciting. The goal here is to start a conversation, answer questions, and move that customer toward purchase. They're doing more than scratching the surface. They've mentally now imagined making a purchase. So they're going to try to ask questions, and now they are aware that they're moving into sales territory. So this is where chatbots like Tadio, ManyChat, and Drift. I just came across Drift. I wasn't familiar with it until this weekend, but Tadio and ManyChat I've used. Both of those are a good spot to create a pop-up chatbot on your website, connect it into the message box on your social media, and engage prospects instantly when they land on your social page. Now, you don't have to be the pop-up that says, "Hey, I'm here. It's Buddy the AI agent. Ask me a question." You just need to be like a floating question mark so that when they're ready and they have a question, they will click it. And now when they ask the question, they get an answer. Now, where's that answer coming from? It's coming from all the assets that you've created. You've loaded it up with your how-to customer service Bible. You've loaded it up with all of your product guides. You've loaded it up with your email history of customer support from your customer support team. And you have it scouring your website constantly so that when you update the website, the content available to the chatbot updates as well. It is not using the entirety of the internet. You are not worried about the chatbot accidentally recommending they go to like a competitor. It's a closed universe of knowledge that you're creating. Next up, any CRM automation tool, whether you're using HubSpot, Zoho, Monday, there are so many out there now, and they all have integrated AI that can help you score leads, which is it can look at patterns in the traffic, the digital breadcrumbs left by visitors as they move from the attract stage into the engagement stage. How long were they on your website? Did they go to a competitor's website immediately before or after leaving yours? Did they go to your website and visit one or more of your social media channels in the last 7 days? If it can create a digital chain of connection there for that lead, then that lead is going to get scored better than somebody who just was, clicked one social media ad once. These people showed more than attraction. They showed a propensity to engage by engaging with more of your content or with some of your content for a longer period of time. You would have no way of knowing that that's happening if you weren't using a CRM tool. People are out there reading your content and considering doing business with you. You don't know who they are, and you don't know how deep into the cycle they are. You're literally, go back to that sales funnel. You're waiting for them to reach out at the purchase phase. Well, the deal's done by then, right? You're relying on them to sell themselves if that's the first point of contact for you. So how are you getting involved earlier? How are you looking in on what they're doing? Email assistants are a big part of this, whether that's just using ChatGPT, and Kim helped us with this last week in her workshop. How are you using tools that are available to you to move through some automation? She showed Gemini integration directly with Gmail. If you're using other tools, the ability to have ChatGPT rewrite emails that you send and receive not in your inbox, but directly in your customer relationship management software like HubSpot or Zoho. Those tools are out there. And Superhuman AI is a full inbox manager that will allow you to create a bunch of different departments, feed them up with different versions of the same information, and have all of them work to meet the needs of your customers kind of in real time. Huge opportunity there with that software. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but I do want to highlight it. What happens after they buy and we move into elements of delight? So customers need to feel supported without having any kind of delay. We need to be proactive about following up with customers. Sending appreciation messages, doing things that can boost loyalty or the likelihood of that customer to return or refer. Delighted users are more likely to leave good reviews. They're more likely to refer friends. In other words, they're more likely to become the promoters that we need to create some momentum in this flywheel that's going to drive more people toward our business. So, with that goal in mind of we want to be there for our existing customers to provide support, build some loyalty, and encourage advocacy, get them telling our story for us. What can we use? Well, there are entire customer service software suites out there powered by AI that probably do a whole lot more than you think is even possible today. And they do not cost a lot. Check out Zendesk and Freshdesk if you want to find solutions that are literally less than $20 a month that are going to allow you to have inbox management, text management, creating a multitude of ways for existing customers to reach out to you with a problem, have that problem properly triaged, use AI tools to provide immediate auto responses, use set thresholds for complaints or customer concerns that should immediately be brought to your attention and not go to anybody else on staff. So maybe, the top 5 paying customers, they always ring your door. Your doorbell goes off every time. I don't care how small their problem is. We're not using our normal system. One of these problems, they always go directly to the owner to get their problem addressed. Otherwise, everybody else is going to move through a preset customer service system that really is kind of set it and forget it. The customers will explain their problems. AI will use the existing resources that you have to provide solutions. The customer at any moment can choose to escalate that and bring it to the attention of somebody on staff. And depending on the nature of either the customer or of the area of expertise required, that concern can be directed to somebody on your team. And then both of these tools track this like with time. So you can have internal standards of, customers from this customer class have a response time of 6 hours or less. Customers from this response time or this spending level have a 24-hour response time. You get to set thresholds and manage that. Much more importantly, you as an owner, you get to log in every day to a single dashboard and see, I've had 5 pre-existing customers reach out with questions. Here's where we are with all 5 of those. And if at any point you are embarrassed by what you're seeing, then you hop in and you get involved and you escalate, right? You're not outsourcing always just the work. But by using AI tools to help you process it and build these systems, then you're giving yourself the ability to easily access information that otherwise would have been 5 different dings on your phone as you've gone about your day. And it would be distracting and overwhelming because you've got 5 existing customers who aren't having a great day, who all have questions, who all have concerns. Well, now we have a way of making sure we're meeting their needs without interrupting the high value work that you're doing today, which is closing new clients and getting the money we need to pay the bills tomorrow. There are tools out there for voice calls. If you're still doing inbound or outbound sales and the phone is still a part of that, or Zoom and Teams and Google Meet is still a part of that, then Tactic, Fireflies, even the summary AI companion that's built into Zoom, using these tools to create transcripts, having those transcripts be fed into customer relationship management software. These are ways that you can very easily have AI help you tailor your interactions with these customers. AI feedback analyzers, Monkey-Learn and Chattermill. Now, Chattermill is the only one of these I've actually used, but it'll categorize and analyze survey responses and reviews. So surveys that you send out yourself through their software, or reviews that you are getting on public review aggregators like Google Reviews. It'll categorize all of that up and connect it back directly to existing clients that are in your system so that you'll be able to follow up with those clients directly. The other benefit of using a tool like Chattermill is when somebody, if you are outwardly soliciting reviews, a benefit is that the review comes in through your channel so that you can work on the negative stuff before it gets posted to Google Review. If you get ahead of the public post, then we aren't just figuring out how do we use these tools to react to the story. We're using these tools to change the story, right? The customer comes to you first because as part of your delight effort, you have an AI-driven review generator that is doing a really good job of flagging customer relationships that have gone sour after the sale. And how do you find out about it? You don't find out about it from a public Facebook post or a bad Google review. You found out about it because 72 hours after every purchase, Chattermill sends out a survey to this customer who just bought to try to get ahead of the pain points that maybe they're now feeling for the first time since they've bought. And then smart retargeting, MailChimp is a great example of this. If you use Shopify, Shopify's built-in newsletters and retargeting. What is our ability to send personalized thank you notes, upsell offers, and re-engagement workflows to people based on what we know about what they've bought from us before? So the joy of engaging with people at the delight phase is we know at least one cold hard purchase decision they've made, because the only way they got to the delight stage of your flywheel is because you sold them and closed them at some point. They've paid you for something at some point. So now that we know that, let's get some data going to show us, okay, when people buy this pen from me, 50% of them move on to buy this pencil from me 1 week later. So crazy thing. Let's start showing the pen customers the pencil a little earlier and see if we can get them to buy a little earlier. And if we know they're going to buy a pencil in a week anyway, how do we maybe incorporate that into a 2-for-1 offer at a different price point so we only have one sales transaction happening but with increased revenue? So you're able to do really smart retargeting that will begin to shape and reshape your wholesaling process. So just a quick summary of that piece before we jump into 5 real steps that you can like sit down and do tonight to figure out how you're going to use AI in your own business. A couple of things is that this has to be done in your voice, and the path that your customers are going to follow, it has to be one that you've created. So you want to create and share a brand kit with all of your AI tools. You don't want to have it spitting out answers, spitting out graphics and things. And then every time you having to manually adapt that to your business, go into Canva and set your brand kit. Go into ChatGPT and upload a brand voice kit that includes samples of how you wrote on your existing outbound customer emails. Tell it what your color scheme is. Use the actual color codes, and it will factor that into everything that it produces for you. Create a brand voice or concept file and share that across all your AI tools. Whether you're using AI integration inside of things like Canva, or you're using it like Kim showed us in the workshop last week, having a concept file or a brand voice kit that you attach to every ChatGPT prompt or Claude prompt that you run, so that it has this new filter of consideration before it provides a response. And that way, the information that you are getting back is a little more custom to you and your business every time. You want to map your ideal customer journey, and you want to note all of the communication points, all of the 1 or 2-way communication points that a customer is likely to have from the minute they find out that you sell what you sell to the minute they buy it to whatever the beginning of the repurchase cycle is. All of the spots along that timeline where either they want to talk to you or you want to talk to them, let's draft those. Let's ideally map out what we would love those communications to be. And then let's figure out where on that timeline can we begin to use AI tools to make those things just happen. And then you're going to use AI tools to actually draft the content that you're going to feed into all the other AI tools that you're going to use as you automate those responses. So if you are using tools like MailChimp, you can sit down with ChatGPT once and draft out that customer follow-up email, and then program that over into MailChimp and set up the automation through MailChimp. So the concept of how to use the tool, this is really important. It is secondary to making sure that the message of the tool is doing what you actually want to have happen in that moment. Sometimes it's attract, where the things we're trying to do are get people engaged and just a little curious. And sometimes it's full engagement, where we're trying to get people to ask 1, 2, 3 questions about us and dig deeper into our content so that, they've actually now mentally imagined opening their wallet and buying from you. And then point of purchase. What happens every time a point of purchase? What thank you goes out? What email goes out? What customer review consideration goes out? What channel does it go through? Is it a text? Is it an email? Is it something that your staff does in store in real time? Are you getting sold photos with your customers? Do people on your staff know that they should capture a picture of your customer standing next to their new ride-on lawnmower that you just sold them? All of this should be built in as a touch point. And then your job becomes delegating those tasks out to either yourself, to AI solutions, or to actual people on your team who can drop those pieces in so the automated tools can be spinning out this new content all the time. And if you do that, then you will have created all of those pieces that are required in your ideal customer journey from the beginning to the end to post-sale. you'll have all of those individually made pieces, and now you're ready to automate. So, to maintain customer service control and to keep it on your path and in your voice, what you're looking to do here is outsource the solution, not the problem. You still have to determine how best your business solves the problem. That is the basis of your entire business. Don't dare ask a prompt to do that part for you, right? But let's absolutely use tools so that our words and our decisions can be delegated and automated through the delivery, consistent delivery of that solution, client after client. So, as you may have noticed, I definitely take a sales approach to customer service, which is that if you've sold to somebody and they have concerns, all of those concerns are opportunities for you to cement the relationship with that customer, position them to buy from you again, or at the very least, to leave with a really good story where they had a problem and you resolved it in such a way that now they're saying good things about you. So, things to keep in mind if you want to move through the world that way: upsell with smart replies. I've said this over and over again. Talk to the dog in the language of the dog about the thing the dog cares about. By the time a customer has made a purchase from you, you know a lot about them. So you are better positioned for your next sale than you were for your first. We already know about how they like to buy. We know about how they like to think. We know about how they like to research. We know about how they like to touch and feel things before they'll commit to it. Now that we know all that, great. What are we selling them next? Clear opportunities for sales inside your business that are just waiting for an automated process are stale leads, people who have reached out to you at some point through one of your channels but have not yet been converted into a customer. Abandoned carts, if you have an online store, people that have actually put something in your cart but then not purchased it. If you have a physical retail location, people with phones in their pocket and active GPS who have walked into your retail location, but to your knowledge have never actually made a purchase. And obviously upsell retargeting, because certain patterns will emerge in your sales data. People who buy the pen generally buy the pencil 10 days later. So how do we introduce the pencil? How do we create some urgency to shorten the time frame? That's the whole point of the eventual upsell. Now, it might seem foreign to be doing this to people who are reaching out because they have a problem or a concern, right? In at the heart of reactive customer service. But it is the prime ground. It's a vulnerable position. They think they have one up on you, and they're giving you a stage where you now have to perform and really meet their expectations. The one thing that you could do to ruin that opportunity is begin pitching a new solution or getting excited about what that next sale is before you've solved the current problem, right? So you need to make sure you've addressed the thing that has put them in front of you before you flip over, whether it's you or your AI tool. Start talking to them about something new. Imagine how annoying it would be if you bought something from somebody's Shopify store and you got the thank you for your order, and then you got you looked at it, realized there was a problem, you send an email to customer support, and customer support emails back, and in the exact same email, without solving the problem that you've just brought up about your existing purchase, they are showing you the price tags of 3 other things that, here, we think you might like these. That would drive you nuts as a customer. But we do that to our customers all the time because we turn on those simple automations in our software, but we don't put conditions on them, right? So protecting your customer service elements from that is really important. You'll never manage that manually. That's exactly what you want AI to do. Now, very quickly, 5 steps that you can take right now to get started. So the goal here would be, I've just talked to you about 24 different pieces of software. You're not going to go learn all of them. That's impossible. You're not going to sign up for free trials with all of them and get overwhelmed. That doesn't make any sense. So how do we prioritize what you can bite off that's going to make the biggest impact right now inside of your business? And generally speaking, this comes down to figuring out what's taking up the most time right now. What customer service work do you find you getting stuck doing that's keeping you from some of that high value work that you could be doing? So my first recommendation is that you identify your top 5 customer service tasks inside your business. Make a quick list of the common things that customers ask you. Where's my order? What's your refund policy? How do I book? If you find yourself writing these things out over and over again or explaining them to customers over and over again, then that is opportunity calling, right? We have a way of handling this a couple of different ways. Just create the content, put it in one location so that every time someone reaches out, you have a quick copy paste available for you and your staff. Or use a chatbot, load up all those responses into the chatbot. When they ask the chatbot the question, it automatically gives them that response from your frequently asked questions. So we're not necessarily taking on the job of writing a whole bunch of new content. We're just figuring out, how do our customers who are asking these problems actually get directed towards the tool that has the answers? So a chatbot that's on your website, an FAQ button that's on your menu, that's fantastic. Your customer service inbox, if it's emails coming in from customers, rather than having the receptionist do her damnedest, or your salesperson, even worse, with two thumbs tapping it out on a phone in a car, right? Have all of those go to one person whose job it is to copy and paste the relevant answer from the FAQ page and customize it a little bit. Or if you want to get really technical, connect that into ChatGPT, take the customer's complaint email, drop it in there, ask it to provide an answer looking at only the FAQ that you've written, and then see if that provides an adequate response. If you're using a full stack customer relationship management software like HubSpot or Monday, or even some of the project management software, if you're using any of those, there's a really good chance that that kind of automation is already in there, that a chatbot connected to a customer service ticketing system, it already exists. It's just waiting for you to tell it how you want those things handled. Next up, choose the AI tools that fit your business. You want to pick something that's beginner friendly if that's where you are. You want to pick something that's affordable, because this is going to save you time, and time in theory is going to save you money. But if you're launching a good business, if you're launching a new business, there's a big chance that you have time right now and not money, right? So we want to be selective in the things that we're choosing to automate. We don't want to spend a lot of money automating our systems and then have it only save us 2 or 3 minutes a day because we don't have actual paying customers asking us questions. But with a growth mindset, how do we invest in those things today that are most likely going to help us today and certainly tomorrow as we grow? So if you're looking for live chat and chatbots for your website to really pick up some of this low-level customer service stuff, go play with Tideo. I would say that's a good starting point. If you're looking to get a single point of contact for all of your customer questions and complaints, even prospect customers, prospect questions and complaints, then using something like Freshdesk or Zendesk, using that as a way of putting all of your email and your help desk content in one spot. Get out of your inbox. The days of running your business from your inbox should be behind you. You should have a tool in front of you that easily makes it accessible for you to see your entire history with every customer. And like if you're using HubSpot or a full stack CRM, it'll also tell you, okay, this customer, here's all the email from them. Here's the email newsletters that we sent them. Here are the newsletters that they looked at. Here are the pages on our website that they looked at and when they looked at them. All of that is in one spot, and you look at that before you send a reply. So now you've got all this extra knowledge and information in your head, and it's because you've got AI going out and doing all of this research for you. You don't have to assemble that through 10 or 12 tools. You need to pick one CRM or one help desk support tool, and it's going to do all that for you. And then finally, and this is the most basic thing, start small using tools like ChatGPT for the creation of the content that you're going to use inside those animations. Next up, create your voice guide and your FAQ. Every business has the FAQ. You have frequently asked questions that you answer on repeat. Let's sit down and write those really, really thoroughly and in your voice. And when I say in your voice, I mean it should be written exactly as you would write it in an email if you were just emailing one of your clients. Because if that's the language and the style and the tone that we feed into the AI tools, no matter what tool you're using, it's going to begin to adapt to that right back using that tone and that style. So target the responses that you want to give to those top 5 questions that you identified at number 1. Use you actually sitting down with ChatGPT and yourself and coming up and taking the words and the responses that the tool gives you, writing it out in your voice. And then here's the step that we all skip with AI. Now that you've edited the responses and you've done the work of making AI sound more like you, paste that back into the AI and teach it about the things that you changed. It'll stop using the word that you always replace. It'll stop using the dangling modifiers if you never do. It'll stop using hyphens if you never do. These types of things, a trainable tool. It'll eventually start to write and sound exactly like you. But if you are copying out of your AI tools and then pasting into Gmail, and you're manually making the changes there, but you're never taking that back and being like, hey, I've updated this to sound more like me. Here's the email I'm actually sending, and then putting that in there, then it's never going to learn. Now, that added step you can avoid if you're using customer relationship management software, because it's tracking the email that you actually sent. It's learning from it in real time. Next up, your goal is to set up one automation, whether that's a chatbot on your website, it's an auto reply for a booking form or an email, using a Calendly link to set appointments. You want to automate some quotes or invoices for follow-up. Maybe your business is struggling with accounts receivable. You can always open up QuickBooks and see who still owes you money. Well, what tools are out there that can automate following up with those customers every 7 days until they give you their damn money, right? What tool is going to actually create the most value for you inside your business right now? Let's start there and let's set that one up. And you're looking for the thing that is going to save time on tasks that you would do the most often, or also important, the tasks that you know need to be done but never get around to doing, like following up on overdue invoices. And then finally, review it, refine it, respond like a human. And this is really important. We understand as business owners and managers that the relationships that we have with the people we manage are incredibly important and require feedback and upkeep. Well, so do the AI tools. We need to check them for tone, make edits, and then update the files to train it. And we need to remember to share our edits with AI, like we were just saying. And this is going to sound really crazy, but if you're doing a lot of work in one platform, don't be afraid to give the project file a name, personify the bot so that you have one project file in one AI tool. And oh, look, that's Laura. She does all of our marketing, right? And you can name it whatever you want. It's not an attempt to humanize it, but it does give you the ability to interact with AI, asking it to talk to other bots. That's a bit of a level beyond what we're hoping to address here tonight, but that is really interesting, high concept, but really high value, because this is where the 30,000 foot in the sky Terminator part takes over. It does mean that you're eventually creating a scenario where one bot is suggesting things you could ask another bot to get better work out of them. And the act of managing these tools becomes a little self-referential. The end result here is to have AI that works with you, not instead of you. You are still going to be working full-time at your business, but we're going to protect your time and have it focused on those high-value areas. It's going to free you up to do more of the stuff that is directly connected to delivering the unique value that you bring to your customers. That's at the heart of your value prop. If that is your secret sauce and what you do better than everybody else, then you should not be spending, like Kim said last week, an average of 11 hours a week in your email. You're not making any real dent into the sales target if you're just living inside of your inbox, right? You're not bringing a whole lot of value to customers. You're just cleaning up garbage. You're doing the same work over and over again. It eventually leads to sales. It is client relationship. People are having impact, but it is low level, low impact, and you are not getting the value out of it that you should be for the amount of time that you're putting into it. Now, I know we're tight on time, so very quickly, I want to profile 3 clients that I have now here at CEED and how they're using AI inside of their business. So, Carbray Counseling, Megan Carbray does trauma-informed counseling. She uses, the way I've been talking about customer relationship management software, she's using a tool called Jane. Jane app is a tool specifically for people in the health space at all, anything from mental health crisis intervention to, in a paid healthcare system, like for a full doctor's office to use. It's tracking invoicing and client files and emailing. It's tracking digital pixel data from websites and social media so that Megan can log in at any point, click on one of her customers, see everything they've done on her website, everything they've done on her social media, sometimes see the data for the website they went to before and after leaving her website, because that's shared with each each domain host. So, if someone's pricing Megan out, we know in real time if when they were done with Megan's website and got her quote, did they immediately go to a competitor's website and start filling out a quote? So all of that sounds like a lot of complicated AI, but it's one dashboard in one tool that costs, I believe, $26 American a month. Upside Brand is an apparel company just getting started in Halifax. Alex is a client. He's built his whole business inside of Shopify. Using the abandoned shopping cart feature in Shopify allows Alex to send custom targeted newsletter, automated follow-ups to people, showing them the savings on the item that they had put in their cart but then didn't buy, or showing it to them in different colors. Or if he really wants to close it because they put a lot in their cart and then didn't buy, he's even got the ability to hop in there and make a custom offer. Here's a promo code to allow you to save 10% off the offer. And then if they don't use that promo code in 3 days, have it send one for 15%, right? You have the ability to kind of automate that stuff and just set it and forget it, and then have the system behind the scenes constantly working to target and retarget. The other thing that this would do in Shopify, customers who've created abandoned carts, it will automatically put them into a target audience for social media ad campaigns. So if you came to my website, you put something in my cart and you didn't finish the purchase, when you turn to social media for the next 72 hours, I'm definitely paying enough in my retargeting campaign to put an ad in front of you, because you are worth more to me than a stranger. You are closer to a sale than a stranger. So I'm going to invest more in acquiring you as a customer and get this over the finish line and get you to click checkout on that cart. And then finally, Brianna uses WordPress for her website. The back end, the e-commerce section is powered by Woo. She meets with businesses looking to recruit flex workers and gig workers. So a good chunk of her automation is centered around people's availability. Getting away from that email game of I'm free Monday at 2, you're free Tuesday at 10:15, getting away from that so that you're using tools built into a platform like Outlook and Microsoft, or like Calendly, or like WooCommerce, allowing Brianna to send one link to 2 people, and automatically it collects information from both of their calendars and suggests a meeting time for the 2 sides of Brianna's marketplace, the people who are looking to hire, the people who are looking for work. Brianna sits there making money in the middle and doesn't even have to worry about what time those 2 people are going to get together. The AI-powered software is able to do that for her. Really, really simple, low-level thing to set up. All right, I apologize. I intended to leave 15 minutes for questions at the end, but I've left about 5. So, Aiden, if anyone's been posting into the chat, feel free to ask away. Otherwise, if you have any questions, throw them into chat, and we do have a couple of minutes here to get to them.
We'll just see if anyone asks anything in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't
Also,
have
feel free. Oh, Allie, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I don't have a question. I just wanted to say how great the suggestion was to use AI for recording Zoom meetings and phone calls and stuff, because I can never remember exactly what we talked about, and
Yeah.
it was right in front of me the whole time. I should have just been doing that. So thanks.
Absolutely. Allie's one of my clients here at CEED, and every one of our meetings, I turn on AI Companion and it generates project notes. And that's how I track. And I read those every time you're back on my calendar. I read the meeting previous so that I know what the hell we talked about last time, right?
It makes sense.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
it does.
I started taking notes too. My notes are always just scribbles of tons of stuff I can't read. So thanks, Jake. Great idea.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Allie. Any other questions or comments, gang?
All right. I don't think there seems to be any other questions, so I guess we'll just wrap up here. So a big thank you to Jay for leading this awesome session. And of course, a huge thank you to all of you who joined us live. If you missed anything or want a refresher, you can catch the replay on the Hub Nova Scotia in the Resources tab. We will be posting all the sessions recordings once all the weeks are completed. We'll be back next week, same time, same place for week 5, using AI and free data tools to understand your market. So we'd love to see you all there. Until then, you can subscribe to our newsletter for a monthly overview of everything going on at CEED and beyond. Also, make sure to follow us at CEED Nova Scotia on our socials and hop into the Hub Nova Scotia community to keep the chat going. Thanks again for being here, and we hope to see you next week.
And Naomi, I forgot to mention, but if anyone is looking for help figuring out where to start or what to implement, you can book a free 30-minute consultation with me through the CEED website. Just go to the Teams tab and you can see the full listing of staff. A link to my calendar is there, and I'd be happy to spend some time with you and help you figure out how you're going to eat the elephant as you dive into this, one bite at a time. But what's the first bite? We can help you figure that out for sure.